Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. So today we are going to be taking a peek into 2026 and seeing everything you should know about the year ahead, what you should look forward to, the good, the bad, career, love, overall life. We're going to be getting into all of it. And as you can see today, there is a selection of cards for you to choose from. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Basically, you're going to see which of these cards is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description and jump right into your pile. By the way, I guess you guys have noticed I'm not as active over here on YouTube. I'm still posting very actively over on my Patreon. So if you want to see more of my content, that's where you can find it. There are over 120 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading about where you're Delulu in your life, readings about the next half of this decade. There's love readings, career readings, spirituality readings, so much content to choose from. So if that sounds good to you, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and head to my Patreon. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, astrology, channeling, mediumship, whether you want it to be quick or a full hour-length one, a Zoom one-on-one call, or a pre-recorded reading, you can really customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. So that's about all I have to say, guys. If you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Thinking Woman, Patience, Cornucopia, Envy, and the Thinking Man. So you guys are ready to level up with your love life. It feels like you have done some work on yourselves. And for those of you who are single, this is going to be your year to attract the exact type of person that you want, because Spirit is telling me you are so aligned with this new kind of love. Like in the past, maybe you felt confused. Maybe you were like, I think I like this, I'm not quite sure. And this is the difference, is this year you know what you want. So Spirit is telling me you are going to be able to magnetize and bring in whoever you want. If you're in a relationship, this could be a time when you are really leveling up in your relationship too. Maybe you've done some work on yourself. Maybe you've worked on your communication and your partner has done the same. And you guys are both coming together stronger and better for it. I feel like the old you, it's almost like you don't know her anymore. You don't know that person. If there was dysfunction in romance, if you've been single forever, this could be the year that it all changes, because Spirit is telling me this is the payoff moment. You guys have been working and alchemizing and really trying to do that shadow work when it comes to love, and this is your year when that's going to pay off. And Spirit is also telling me the message that now you know what you will and won't accept, and things that you accepted in the past, you're just absolutely not going to tolerate it. You have alchemized so much, and for that reason, I also think you're going to be having a lot of admirers. Whether you're single or in a relationship, people can feel this new inner wisdom that you have. And so this could be a different time with your partner where you guys are kind of both glad that you did the work, and both of you guys are coming together to kind of celebrate and reap the rewards. Kind of you worked on yourself, you leveled up your education, and I did the same. And now we can come together on this higher level and with this greater ability on both our parts. So yeah, I feel like a lot of this is that inner work, and it's finally manifesting outward. And when it comes to money as well, with this cornucopia card, that bodes very well that you guys could have a lot of abundance and a really big payoff. But it may not happen right away. We do have the patience card. I am feeling also there is a call for you to be more intellectual this year, and a potential in terms of business or your professional life when it comes to thinking and really using your brain. So This could be like pivoting into a career that really uses that, I think it's the right side of the brain that's like math and logic and writing, where you're going to have to be strategic. And so you could be getting your education, going back to get, another education or certification. Or this could be like writing a book or doing something that I feel like just requires a lot of mental energy. And I feel like you're having to strategize. Some of you guys, I'm seeing someone planning either an elaborate vacation or actually moving abroad. And I feel like there's so many different like logistics that need to happen, but this is your year when you're really in that mode to plan. Also, I'm seeing some of you guys taking on a new daily routine that allows you to be more organized. This could be the year you shift into like always having your apartment be a little bit messy, so like everything has its place and everything is exactly where it's supposed to be, and I have like all organized, color coordinated drawers. But I feel like this is a year when really a theme for you is like the old energies, the old dysfunctions that you used to like just tolerate and be like, oh, whatever, that's just how I am. I'm messy or whatever. Now you are not going to accept that. You are really holding yourself to a higher standard and you're making yourself do that shadow work and do the uncomfortable work. And wow, it really pays off. I do feel like by the end of the year, you are like this new person. Like you really have done this deep work into who you are and you know so much more of what you want. And I am seeing some of you guys also pivoting careers. And like I said, the new career, it feels like it requires a lot of intellect. It feels like it requires a lot of thinking and strategy and planning. And it's kind of like a little more stressful, but in a way that I feel like is challenging in a good way. It's not like you're just phoning it in and you're not really pushing yourself. It does feel like whatever this job is, it requires a little bit more of you, but it's also like way more gratifying. Like you come home at the end of the day and you're like good tired. So I feel like overall, this is also kind of a year when it does feel like a little bit of a building year, meaning like it may not be the payoff that happens this year. It may for some of you guys later in the year. But I feel like this is also a year when it's kind of like we're working, we're in the trenches, but we're so excited and happy because we know we're building something. We know we're making something amazing. So if there's a few sleepless nights, if there's a few like exhausted mornings or times when you're like, God, I just got to keep working, like it's paying off to something really good. So that gives you a lot of fulfillment. So let's get into some more cards for you. Pile number 1. I have not seen a lot of these cards. So let's get into them. So the first card we got, let's do the tarot, the 8 of Swords. Then we have the King of Swords, the Princess of Swords, the 5 of Swords, Prince of Pentacles, and the 10 of Swords. Oh my gosh, so many swords cards. Wow, so this is definitely a very intellectual year. And then the only other energy we have is the Pentacles. So yeah, honestly, it's not a super fun or chaotic energy coming through. Like I said, this is a year when some of you guys are having to really kind of put the work in. There may be something, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I just have to give it to you straight. There may be something, I feel like towards the beginning of the year is where this 10 of Swords is showing up for me, where there may be something that you kind of have to say goodbye to or put an end to. And it may be something that you're not super thrilled about releasing or letting go. It may be something that does cause you some pain and you're like, what do I do next? There's a little bit of an 8 of Swords moment where you're like, oh my God, like I lost out on this thing and I don't know what's going to happen now. I don't know where I'm going. Like this was the plan and now that's off. So what do I do? And again, I feel like your intellect is going to play a huge role this year. There's just a lot of strategizing. There's a lot of having to plan out details. There's a lot of logistics at play that I feel like kind of take up a lot of your time this year. So it's kind of like how when you're planning for a vacation, like the vacation vacation is fun, but there's also a lot of months ahead of it where you're having to like research hotels and book them. And it does feel like to me, some of you guys are really trying to like kind of restart your life, like start fresh, or there's like a real need for some kind of new challenge. And if that's the case, I feel like you're just having to go into this very deliberately, kind of carefully, and you don't want to like rush things, is kind of what Spirit is saying. So you may have to be doing, like I said, a lot of research, a lot of documentation. You might have to be figuring out a lot of logistics and doing this planning that may not be the most fun. I feel like for you guys, your communication is going to be really valuable this year, your voice. Some of you guys are definitely going to be writing a book this year. So we did get the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords can also have to do with careers that rule communication. So for example, like being on the radio, having a YouTube channel, writing, anything that involves communicating, even if you're like in sales, that could be communication based, and Page of Swords energy. So this is a year when you really have to kind of have your head screwed on straight. And Spirit is also saying they want you to go out there and like see and be seen. They want you to be social and talk to people and really put your name out there and have people know you. There is this potential. Spirit is telling me that you guys are way smarter than you realize, and you make a way better impression on people than you realize. Like so much of the time, I don't think you get it, pile one, that so much of the time when you talk to someone and you leave, they're blown away and they're like, oh, that was such a great person, or that person was so interesting. Like I would love to meet them again. Wow, that was a nice, classy, quality type of person. And so I feel like Spirit is saying they just want to make sure in this year that you're not kind of holding yourself up inside or not going out there. I feel like Spirit is really saying this is your time to put yourself out there and kind of move away from that instinct to like hide away from the world, and really make sure you are kind of pushing yourself and getting out of your comfort zone. And like I said, communicating, being seen by others, making yourself known. I do feel like with that Five of Swords, there could be some kind of hurt or some kind of drama with your personal life. Again, like I said, for some of you guys, there could be a breakup, because I do feel like you're just so different and you're ready to level up when it comes to your life. So things that you tolerated or put up with in the past, you're not going to tolerate or put up with them now. You're not going to be interested in maintaining that, and you are going to want something different. And I feel like the difference Spirit is saying is you really know your worth and you know your value in a way that you didn't last year. So whatever next relationship you attract, whatever next relationship you enter into, I just feel like your standards are much, much higher, and you're much more capable of kind of like demanding what you want and sticking to that, instead of feeling like you have to settle or feeling like, oh, this is good enough. Like, I don't want to argue. I don't want to complain. I feel like for that reason, you're also turning down different opportunities. Like maybe you get sent a job offer, but you're like, this is not the salary I wanted. And so you're saying no. Maybe you are like holding yourself out to get the job that you really want and the position and the salary you want. And so that may not come in until later for that reason. I also feel like this King of Swords could be a masculine, again, someone you date. So if this is someone you date, it's definitely someone who's very smart, intelligent, they have an intellectual side to them, and there's someone who is very curious about the world. Also someone who has good boundaries and has really high standards. So I feel like this person is looking for you as well. This is someone that is going to be like, oh my God, I'm so glad I found pile number one. I was looking for someone exactly like them, because Spirit wants you to really remember you have way more options than you're realizing. Something about that. Like it almost feels to me like some of you guys in pile one, you've been stuck in a cage or something. Like you haven't been able to really fully be your truest self. And now it's almost like you're being unleashed. You're being let go in 2026. So you're finally going to be able to like be exactly who you are. I feel like as well, there could be a need to like pay attention to your finances, watch your finances, not go crazy with spending or anything. And with that Prince of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles coming through, this could be new business endeavors and new opportunities and ways to make money. I feel like you're also being called upon to kind of broaden your horizons and broaden what you look at with that. So like I said, if you have been thinking about going back to school, but you're like, no, I'm not sure, that would take too long. I feel like now you're more open to it, and Spirit is really wanting for you to be kind of adventurous and push yourself and open yourself up to like different careers, because I really do feel like some of you guys are going to make a big career pivot in 2026. Let me get into some of these cards. So we have Trunk, stability, loyalty, reliability. Hedge, potential, boundaries, indecision. Rosemary, remembrance, loyalty, faithfulness. And Sickle, focus, regrowth, letting go. So I feel like with these cards, yeah, this is not like the craziest year. I do feel like a lot of you guys are going to be doing a lot of that work. You could be developing a fitness routine, a workout routine, and really sticking to that. It almost gives me the vibe this year. I feel like one theme that's coming through is step by step. So kind of like by the end of the year, you're going to be like, wow, I really put a lot of work in. I really did a lot. And I'm really happy with this. But at the beginning of the year, it may feel like this is really slow going. Like, I don't see the point. It's not really happening as fast as I want. And I do feel like that message from Spirit is not to give up and not to be like, I'm done with this. It's never going to happen for me. It is going to happen for you. I just feel like it does take a little bit of time. If you're in a relationship, this could be kind of like you guys, like I said, going through some mutual growth, going through some mutual inner work, and then coming out the other side really loyal to each other. I feel like by the end of this year, like I said, you're going to be a completely different person. There also could be people trying to kind of scam you when it comes to your finances or a relationship. People trying to get you to invest in things and not being completely honest about it, or in relationships, someone not treating you the best and being fully honest or transparent with you. So if that's something that resonates with you, if you're like, I sense something shady going on with my partner, then that could be that confirmation. I feel like you might find out later, that there was something that was hidden from you, or something that someone didn't really fully tell you or want you to know. But I do feel like by the end of this year, it's not even going to bother you, because you're going to be like, I'm so much stronger now. I'm so glad I know whatever this is. And I just wish I'd known earlier. Like, I wish I hadn't even stuck around as long as I did. But yeah, there is this energy around Sickle with letting go and releasing. And then I feel like you're going to be so excited to see this new thing coming in. So definitely don't be afraid. Don't feel like this is your year to just keep sticking it out and like, let me not move on. Let me just try to keep making this thing work. I feel like this message is, whatever is meant to be with you. And if it no longer aligns, then that's a positive sign of your forward momentum. And just a little reminder, because you already know this, pile number one, but you have been doing a lot of that spiritual soul growth work. So those things, certain things in your life that used to hit and really feel good and resonate with you, yeah, they're not going to resonate anymore. And that's actually okay. You're meant to kind of clear that path so that something new can come in. Let's get into these cards for you. Pile number one. What is pile number one going to be experiencing in 2026, Spirit? Devotion, spiritual practices, intuitive history. Okay. Okay, this one is not so positive. Imprisonment, persecution, judgment. Well, it's funny, I did mention someone being stuck in a cage, and that's what I do feel like you're being freed from. Not that you are being put in this cage. It more feels like you've been in that cage for a while, and this is your time to be released. Archangel Metatron, ancient wisdom, understanding, education, learning, teaching. And we have career history, job and work patterns, and community, personal or professional connections. And we also got longing for love and physical issues, illness, accident, injury. So be careful this year. I don't think you're necessarily going to be experiencing an illness, accident, or injuries, but it is something to be careful of. I mean, you guys do have a Ten of Swords moment, and I do feel like there are things that are kind of falling out of your life that are meant to fall out of your life this year. I'm not going to lie. I do feel like this year, to me, it doesn't necessarily feel like the easiest energy. It doesn't necessarily feel like this is the celebratory year where everything is awesome. But I mean, that's part of the process. It's kind of like, you know, climbing Mount Everest is kind of miserable, right? But then at the end, you get to be like, I climbed Mount Everest, but like, it's a very difficult journey. And I do feel like you guys are building something. I do feel like you guys are needing to leave something behind. For some of you guys, this is being willing to confront something that has not been serving you or something that has been draining your energy for a really long time, and you needing to take a really hard look at it. Like that imprisonment card, maybe there's something you just feel stuck within. Maybe there's something that you feel like you can't walk away from it, or you've just got to stick it out. And I do feel like you're going to be amazed by how kind of free you feel. You're going to be amazed that, you know, this is not something that you just need to like push yourself to keep living out. This is something that I feel like by the end, you're going to be like, well, why did I stick with that so long? Why did I not realize how free I was? And I feel like you're going to be very aware of more options that you have. And this could be a year to really level up, pivot, and change your career for life. Like this could be your year that you end up getting into a totally new industry. I mean, like, I'm so glad I did that, but it's almost like sometimes something has to get to the breaking point where you're like, okay, I'm really done. Also, you know, with like love, it could be like you've been in a difficult relationship and you keep trying to push it out, or you've been single and not really happy. And this is your year when you're like, I am ready to break up with this person. I'm ready to leave this in the past, or I'm done being single and I really want to, you know, find a partner. And you're willing to admit that and kind of confront that for yourself. So you end up kind of going on that journey and finding that person that's so much better aligned for you, finding that person that makes your heart sing and that you really feel is like your soul counterpart that you've known in other lifetimes, that, you know, they've done the work and it's just easy. So I feel like this is your year to really be honest with yourself about how you feel about certain things, how certain things resonate with you, whether they bring you joy, whether they don't, and being brave enough to move on if they don't. Yeah, but we also have Archangel Metatron, and Metatron is the keeper of the Akashic record. So I do feel like this is also a very spiritual year. And like I said, I see writing as a major theme for you guys this year. I do feel like some of you guys are meant to write a book, or maybe this is like starting a journal, doing a lot of meditation, I feel. But it's almost like we have to take a hard look at certain things as well. For some of you guys, this could be taking a hard look at your finances, really being honest with yourself about something that's going on with that, and kind of like no longer putting on those rose-colored glasses. Let's see what's happening for pile number 1 in 2026, Spirit. So we have the 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, the Magician. Actually, this came out reversed, so I am going to reverse that. Then we have the Judgment card, so reinvention for you guys. We also have the 6 of Pentacles. So just looking at this 7 of Pentacles reverse, the 7 of Pentacles often talks about sticking something out for a long time and working away at it and planting those seeds early, and then one day they harvest. And I feel like it's really interesting that that's reversed, but the Magician card is upright, because the Magician card could be like a sudden burst of a blessing, a sudden, you know, windfall, like winning the lottery or inventing something overnight that like sells out, and you know, you spent one day like tinkering with it and putting it together, and now it's like huge and makes millions, and there were other things you worked on for years and it didn't make you a dime, you know? So I feel like for you, this is your message again, that you're a lot more powerful than you may realize. And if you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling like, well, I signed up for this job, I can't leave, or I'm in this relationship, like I can't break up with this person, and this is just how it is, and I just have to deal with it. This is your message as we go into 2026, and this is what you're going to realize during this year, is that actually you don't have to tolerate any of that. Like if something isn't serving you, if something isn't resonating with you, that you do not have to tolerate and stick around, and you can reinvent yourself and have a judgment card moment in a flash. In one instant, you can change your whole life. So yeah, I feel like another thing coming through is Spirit is telling you they want you to focus on making more money with that Six of Pentacles so that you can have more freedom, because maybe some of you guys are feeling trapped for financial reasons, and Spirit really wants you to have that true freedom, that true knowledge that like, I have lots of money, I can do whatever I need to do, and I don't have to worry. Let's get some other cards for you. Pile number 1. So we have the Four of Wands. That's a very happy card. The Star reversed. And the Six of Wands. So we have some very happy energies ending this reading, which I love. So this can talk about socializing. Spirit is really emphasizing that for you guys. The Six and the Four of Wands both have a very social component to them. And I really feel like Spirit is saying, don't be afraid to get out there. Don't be afraid to be seen. This could be a social year for you. You could also be like networking, meeting people that benefit you financially through your career. And the other thing is Spirit is saying, or through socializing, and Spirit is saying that they want you to socialize because you need to be reminded of what a star you are. That's what you're kind of doubting right now with this Star card reverse. A lot of you guys are questioning yourself. A lot of you guys don't realize how charismatic you are, how charming, how amazing, how so many people are drawn to you. And if you were to actually get out there and like meet lots of people, talk to lots of people, and kind of see and be seen, you would be like, oh, that's who I am. Why did I ever waste any time doubting myself or questioning myself? Like, I am that girl or I am that guy. So that's another thing that Spirit really wants you to pay attention to this year, is making sure you're taking that time to like meet new people, talk to people, signing up for like a group fitness class or whatever, finding a way to network and meet new connections. Because again, I think this is how Spirit really wants to like bring change into your life, is through your social life. So if there's a relationship that's been stagnant, maybe, you know, you will make friends with a group of single girls and they're like, come out with us. And you start realizing that like, you really don't want to be in this relationship. And it gives you that bravery and that freedom when you see how much fun the single girls are having to leave that relationship. Or maybe you meet up with some people and they're like making lots of money and they have different cool jobs, and you realize, I really need to leave this job, like it is not serving me. So I feel like you're going to get that download for what needs to shift and change in your life through community with other people and through your social life. So let me get some astro dice for you to end this reading off. Pile number 1. Let's see what the astro dice have to say. So we got Saturn. Wow, it's a very Saturnian year. We got Capricorn, and then we have Libra, and we have the second house, so Taurus. So yeah, Libra is a card of, or an energy of relationships. I do feel like relationships are being highlighted. I do feel like for those of you guys who are single, there's a really positive message with meeting someone who you're just going to feel so aligned with. You're going to be like, I am so glad I did this inner work and it has really paid off. And I'm so happy that like I didn't settle. I'm so happy that I waited for this person and I got with this person, because wow, we are just so aligned and this is so much better than anything I experienced in the past. There definitely is that highlight on your dating life, and also a message for everyone really to make sure that your dating life is really serving you. Your romantic life is actually bringing value to you and not stressing you out or taking away your peace, but actually adding to your peace. Then we have Saturn. this is a very Saturnian year, it feels like. Like, it does feel like there's some hard choices and hard lessons that need to happen this year. It does feel like you're doing a lot of hard work, but the benefit of Saturn is once we're done with a Saturn transit or Saturnian work, there's always a massive payoff. So it doesn't happen for no reason. Whenever we're being put through our paces by Saturn, there's always a reward at the end, and we always transmute and really change that area of our life to be so much better by the end. So I feel like that's something that's happening for you, is like you are doing a lot of hard work this year, but there is going to be a major benefit. And by the end of this year, you're going to be like, oh my God, like I completely changed my career. I completely changed my love life. I'm so much happier and better now. And like, I can't even recognize my old self. And this is such a blessing. And then we also have the second house. Second house is the house of money. So you have, your house of relationships with Libra and your house of money highlighted, house of earned income. So I feel like you guys are really going to be pivoting how you make your money. Some of you guys adding to it, some of you guys shifting with something that has to do with your career, whether you're going back to college, whether you're adding in a side hustle. I feel like you're really ready to kind of embark on some new endeavor this year and be brave and bold and kind of go after your dreams. So that's the positive thing. By the end of this year, you could have a whole lot more money. You're also going to have so much more confidence in yourself by the end of this year. And that's the real blessing that's happening, is like by the end of this year, you're able to speak up for yourself, trust yourself, and just go for whatever this is that your heart has been telling you. And I feel like this is a blessing year, even though it's going to be a little bit of a tough one and it's not going to be just the like fun party year. But by the end of 2026, you have done a lot of soul growth, a lot of soul work, and I feel like you're going to be going into 2027 so much better prepared and like the best version of yourself. So that is what I have for you. Pile number 1. I hope it wasn't too heavy of a reading. I know it wasn't like some of the best tarot cards. But I do feel like overall, like I said, you guys are very, like, this is going to benefit you so much. And you just have to focus on the long-term trajectory you're on instead of like, oh, this is going to be hard in the meantime, because long term, you're going to be so glad that you changed your whole life this year. And this is a year of upheaval and shifting and throwing out the stagnant and welcoming in the new. So I hope it resonated, guys. Please let me know if it did. I'm super curious about this pile. I would love to know if this resonated for you, or if you know what Spirit is talking about with what needs to end in your life. Drop it in the comments. And please like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Also, I'm not really posting as much over here on my YouTube, but I am still super active on my Patreon. There are over 130 exclusive readings you'll only find on my Patreon, and then you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you and you want to sign up for Patreon, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, astrology, channeling, mediumship, a combination, whether you would like me to do it live with you or pre-record it, you get to really customize your reading so it's a perfect reading for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. That's about all I have to say, guys. So if you, that goes at the beginning of the reading. I am sending you guys all my love and light, and I will see you very, very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you guys got Healer of the Ages, Action, Victory, the Temple Path, and Rest and Rejuvenation. So I feel like this is a year when some of you guys are going to be on the go. You might literally be moving a lot in terms of like making a physical move with your house, like moving somewhere else, or traveling a lot. One thing that's coming through really strongly is being in demand. Like, I feel like so many people are going to want something from you this year. It's almost like if you're selling something, people are buying, So if you're wanting to like find someone and date, then you're gonna find people who are like, oh yeah, pile two is beautiful. Pile two looks gorgeous. If you're like wanting to do something with your career, you're gonna find people who want to hire you or want to, purchase whatever it is. I feel like you're kind of almost like it feels like you're the it girl this year. We got this victory card right in the center. And that really sums up the vibe around here of like there's a lot of success. You might kind of feel like you have the Midas touch where like everything you're touching turns to gold. I'm also seeing someone spending some time in a spa with this temple path and rest and rejuvenation card coming out next to each other. I feel like some of you guys are going to do a lot of kind of like pampering sessions is kind of what I'm seeing when I tune into that energy. So maybe if you do go on vacation, it's going to be like you're getting to book a massage. It's going to have a spa. You're going to get a facial. You're going to get something when it comes to kind of healing your body. Spirit is also telling me for some of you guys, there's a need to kind of slow down and be a little bit less active, especially if you have been like someone that sticks to a really strong athletic schedule and like you wake up at 6 a.m. to go for a run. I know not everyone does that. I definitely respect people, but I don't do that myself. But if you have been on a schedule like that, you might have to take a little bit of a break and kind of like chill, because Spirit is telling me that maybe for some of you guys, your muscles have been hurting or your kind of like feet have been hurting. And it's almost like Spirit is telling you to slow down a little bit and that you don't need to be so perfect, because it's almost like you're good enough as is. This is the message and the vibe I'm getting as we head into 2026. And I feel specifically this is a message for the beginning part of the year. So maybe like January, March, April, or January, February, March. I don't know why I said those months so out of order, but you're going to be maybe chilling a little bit, relaxing a little bit more. I mean, that's the perfect time of year. Winter is the time when so many animals hibernate and slow down for that reason. So maybe you're just listening to kind of the rhythm of the season, but I do feel like some of you guys are going to be called to slow down, relax, chill a little bit, and maybe you're going to be doing more inner work. Spirit is also showing me someone cooking in a kitchen. So you might really feel called to like be at home and do home things. And Spirit is specifically highlighting the first quarter of the year. So like I said, January, February, March. I'm not saying this will necessarily apply the same in July, because Spirit really wants me to mention that it's like the beginning part of the year in particular. I mean, it may be an energy that lasts throughout, but like the beginning part, I really feel like you guys are going to be kind of like at home, puttering around, cooking, relaxing. And if you've been like putting yourself through a lot of pressure to like, oh, I have to hit the gym, 5 days a week at least, and I have to like go for my run of like 3 miles a day every day, like you might find yourself being called to step away from that, and you actually might feel like, I want to have a lazy Sunday. And Spirit is wanting you to know that there is nothing wrong with that. And some of you guys are actually gathering back your energy. Spirit is saying you're also going through a lot of inner healing, inner shadow work, inner work, and for that reason you may feel more subdued, more tired. You might be like, I'm just exhausted, but it's because you're doing all this work on the astral plane, and it is hard work. And Spirit is also wanting me to point out to you that there are like so many people who are very concerned with what you're doing, and not in a bad way, not like they're worried about you, more in a way of like they're keeping tabs on you. I feel like for some of you guys, this is like an ex, this is someone's ex coming through, and for others, it could just be like a friend group. And Spirit wants you to know you're more influential than you realize. And this is where, I don't know, the message is coming through almost like it's okay for you to step back, because you don't realize how freaking unique your presence is, how special your presence is, and how you are not easily replicable, or people can't just copy you easily. So if you're worried that like, oh my God, I have to be at every single event or people are going to forget about me, or like I have to hit the gym, maybe you're flirting with your gym crush and like you have a guy at the gym that you always kind of like make eyes at, and you're like, oh, but if I don't show up to the gym, like I won't see him and he's going to forget about me. And this would be that situation where like you don't show up at the gym for a week and he's like, I really want to see her. Like, where is she? And he finally asks you out instead of staring at you across the gym floor, you know? So whatever this is, whether it's like with a friend group, whether it's with maybe even your career, maybe you've wanted to take a step back with your career with something, but you're like, oh, if I do that, I'll lose out on income and people are going to like forget about me. But just know, pile number 2, your presence is so special and so like distinctive and unmistakable that like, absolutely not. No one is going to be forgetting about you. No one is going to be, able to get you off their mind. And you definitely have, maybe some of you guys have already done this, like taking a step back and you're like, yeah, I haven't posted on Instagram in like 6 months and, whatever. But I feel like you have a lot of people who are like wondering, like they want to see what you have going on. They're curious, It's like you don't even realize that you are very kind of mysterious and people are captivated. I'm seeing in my mind certain celebrities. You know how some celebrities, like they'll always be doing pap walks in front of the paparazzi and they're always like trying to get themselves out there and posting on their Instagram. Kind of like the Kardashians, like they kind of have to have their name out there. They're always doing their reality shows and launching businesses and posting and like they kind of have to do that. But then you think of like someone like, I don't know, Adam Driver or Kristen Stewart or certain celebrities that kind of have this mystique to them, this mysteriousness, this uniqueness where you're like, oh, like they might pop up after a few months and you're just like, oh my gosh, awesome. Like you didn't forget about them. You're just like more excited to see them. And it's almost like the mystery adds to that. So I feel like some of you guys are going to be really called to do that in early 2026. Like, let me go ghost a little bit. Let me just not hide, but kind of like I want some space to myself and I want some privacy. And Spirit really wants you to know there's nothing wrong with this. This could even be something like taking a break from the dating apps. Which I usually am not a fan of. I always say that, like, throw open as many doors as you can, let in as many opportunities as possible. But in your case, and I rarely say it, but in your case, Spirit is approving of that. So let's get into your tarot cards. We got the Hermit. Oh my God. I didn't even know we had pulled the Hermit, and that's perfect for this energy I'm picking up on. We got the Ace of Wands, Temperance card, the Seven of Swords, the Moon card, the Queen of Cups. Okay, so these cards could explain a little bit why you're feeling the need to be a little bit more private in 2026, and this might be a quieter year for you because the Moon and the Queen of Cups, I mean, one thing that's coming through is you could be getting a lot more spiritually sensitive and a lot more aware of other people's feelings. And I think that can be very overstimulating when you first start doing that. Like I know for me, when I first started getting into like my psychic abilities, I used to be like super social, and then it was like suddenly it's almost like a switch went off and I was like, oh my God, I hate being out. I hate being at a bar or a club. I hate being at a like crowded restaurant with my friends. And I felt very like fried all the time. And I look back now and I feel like that is just a typical step on like a spiritual path where you're suddenly opening yourself. Like you had a door that was closed in your mind. Maybe your third eye chakra was kind of closed and then you opened it and now it's like everything's flooding in. It's kind of like, I don't know, you live on a very busy road. Say you have an apartment right on top of a bar or a nightclub and you have really thick windows and it never bothered you. And then you actually open the window for once and now you can hear all this noise and all the people shouting and you can smell the cigarette smoke wafting up from the street into your apartment, and you can hear the nightclub like thumping music and you're like, oh my God. And like, it's very frazzling. Like you also don't really know. I didn't know how to close that door. I didn't know that I could like actually shut it. So I was like, oh my God, this is horrible, and where was my quiet space in my mind that I used to have? And I feel like you guys are getting really psychic this year. I feel like you guys are really starting to tune in and be very sensitive to other people's energy. So yeah, this might be why you're feeling like you want to go to hermit mode with the Queen of Cups. A lot of you guys are really, really psychic. And you also might just be feeling with the Queen of Cups as well. She's also highly creative. So you may be feeling the need to become more creative, to express yourself creatively, whether that's writing, painting, songwriting, gardening, dancing, anything could be creative, really making TikToks, making jewelry. There's so many different ways to express your creative side, but you might be really feeling that need to like go deep inside yourself and bring something forth into the world. And so, sometimes that's when we find ourselves in hermit mode. I feel like for you, some of you guys, Spirit is telling me you're no longer in alignment with certain people that you used to be around, you used to hang out with, like whether it's your friend group, your family, your hometown that you've lived in forever. I feel like some of you guys are like ready to make a change. It's almost like what used to hit, what used to feel really good and be like, yes, this resonates. Now it's like not hitting in the same anymore. It's definitely not the best vibe. And I feel like some of that is because you have leveled up. Again, you're really a very spiritual person, and I feel like you have done a lot of work with your spirituality. You have done a lot of shadow work and a lot of kind of purging and cleansing yourself and welcoming in the new. And I do feel like that energy is going to continue into the beginning of the year. If you have been getting into like spirituality, working on your tarot, doing your astrology, meditating, I feel like that's just going to get more and more intense. And again, your sensitivity may get more and more intense, but I always want to tell people that like you can shut that door. Also, sometimes just acknowledging it as what it is, like helps. Like I know for me, it's funny because I remember just like last week, this is a little side story, but I was in the park on a walk and there was this lady and she just gave me the worst vibe. And I always feel like kind of like, oh, am I paranoid? Like, because there'll be someone in public that I'm just like, ah, I hate this person, or like I don't know that person, like I just want to stay away from them. And my partner will sometimes tease me and be like, oh my god, you're like, you're like hating on this random person, they haven't done anything to you. And I'm always like, yeah, maybe I am like misreading it, maybe I'm like looking too much into it and they didn't do anything to me, so whatever. And it's so funny because this lady, I was on a walk and she gave me the worst feeling, and I was just like, ugh, I just want to stay away from this lady. She really rubs me the wrong way. Ugh, I hate it. I really dislike her energy. And anyway, the next day I see her at the park and she's like harassing this lady. I don't know what happened really. I couldn't like hear exactly what was going on, but she was like shouting in her face. I saw it from a distance and like screaming at her about something with her dog, which like you never really know like who's wrong. Like, was it the dog owner who did something? Although I had seen that same dog owner because it's like a neighborhood park kind of a thing. So I'd seen her. She was always friendly to me. She always smiled. She seemed nice. But the lady I got the bad vibe from was like screaming in her face. Then she was following the dog owner, and like the dog owner was trying to get away, like walking away. And the lady that I got the bad vibe from is just like following her for so long and just screaming. And I was like, oh, I feel so vindicated because this lady freaked me out and I got a weird vibe from her. And it was right. And so that's just a side topic thing, but I feel like that's almost something that's coming through for you guys. I was like, yes, I am right to hate on random strangers. No, obviously you shouldn't. And I'm working on not always judging, but sometimes your intuition is speaking to you. And what's funny about that is I've noticed it because like I've done, I've been doing these kind of psychic things for long enough where I notice that a lot of times interactions with people who may have a difficult energy or a bad energy, I hate to put it in those words, but it's so funny because we will take it very personally. We'll be like, oh, I got a bad feeling from this person. Oh, they probably hate me. It hits you like a wave of negativity, and it can be really frustrating because like you're in a good mood and suddenly you interact with this person and you just feel like awful. You feel negative, you feel down, you feel mad or angry, and you're like, where did this come from? And you just get mad at that person. But what I've realized is a lot of times you're picking up on that person's emotional state. And this is something you have to be aware of as an empath and as an intuitive, is you're just absorbing them and you're not processing that, you're not putting it through that filter of like, this is not my energy. And so you're just like suddenly mad, you're suddenly annoyed, you're suddenly in a bad mood. And what's really important is to like learn to have a wall up and also just learn when that energy does come in. Because I think this lady must have been in like a really bad mood for a really long time, hence her like kind of being weird to me and then harassing this other lady at the park. So she's probably just having a bad week. Maybe she's just not a very happy person in general. But again, it's almost like she was looking for someone. She was looking for a way to maybe diffuse that energy, give it to someone else, not have to carry it around herself, looking to like find a victim. And for me, I kept a wide berth from her because I was like, I don't want to deal with this lady. And I feel like that's a lot of times half the battle, is just keeping in mind, this is not my energy. I don't need to pick it up. I don't need to bring it on. I can just keep at a distance from this. And like, this is your energy. It has nothing to do with me. And even if you were to be rude or nasty to me, that's your thing. That's your a burden to carry, not mine. I know it's easier said than done, but also imagining yourself, I always imagine myself walking through like in a disco ball with like mirrors all around me, deflecting the energy back, or imagining yourself in a bubble of white light, wearing black crystals like obsidian, black tourmaline. There's so many ways to protect your energy. Also doing like regular spiritual baths and saging your space and cleansing it regularly. Those are all tools that we can use to protect our energy. But, you know, I think it's something that you guys are definitely going to be dealing with. Like, it's almost like I said, once you start being aware of this, it's like you couldn't smell. It's like you're sick and you have a cold and your smell isn't really working. And suddenly you smell like, oh my God, this room stinks. Or, oh, what is that? Like oh my God, I forgot to take out the trash because I couldn't smell it, you know? So, yeah, it's suddenly you're just aware of those things. And that's what I'm feeling for you guys, is like your antenna is very up. And this is a good thing. Like I said, it's annoying and frustrating when this happens, but overall, it means that you're tuning your spiritual gifts. You're becoming more powerful in them. And that's really what I'm seeing for you guys. And over time, you start learning to differentiate between your energy and someone else's. And then it's a lot easier to kind of sort that out and not start taking it on. I do feel like there could be a beautiful new creative project for you guys with the Ace of Wands, or a new fresh start. I'm also feeling like in the area of love, you guys are highly in demand. So you have a lot of admirers, you have a lot of people who are wanting to talk to you, wanting to get to know you, who are interested in you. And I also feel like, again, it's almost giving me this self-conscious feeling where I feel like your name is on everyone's lips. Like everyone's talking about you, everyone's wanting to kind of get to know you, and maybe you can sense it. And that's what's also making you self-conscious, is you feel this weight of like people seeing you in your same apartment building complex and being curious about you. Or maybe you kind of can feel this energy when you go on Instagram where you're like, I know someone wants me to post. I don't know who, but I just feel like someone's waiting on my next post. Again, I feel like you just need to understand, pile 2, you guys are kind of like the it girl for right now, or the it guy. A lot of people are curious about you. And I think one thing that's coming through overall as a theme for you is maybe just being more of like having a wall up and less open to like caring about what a hater thinks. Again, like for me, with that metaphor of the lady at the park that I just was weirded out by, I think now I've made it a practice that when I get a weird vibe from someone, I don't like internalize it into myself. I try to just keep it as like, oh, that person has a weird energy. That person had a bad day. That person's going through something. Leave it at that. I'm not going to take it on, even if they want me to, even if they try to bait me into something negative. I'm going to try to keep it at arm's length. I know it's easier said than done. I don't always succeed, but yeah, I feel like for you, one message that's coming through is no longer even caring or paying attention to like, if someone has something negative to say, if someone has something negative that they feel, just kind of learning to like block it out and not take it on. So that should be That's exactly why you shouldn't let it hold you back from like posting on Instagram or sharing something with the world that's exciting for you, because yeah, you know, their energy is just not even going to really be able to touch you. Just take it as a compliment that they're so interested in everything you have going on. So we also got the Earthworm card: clarity, rumination, pine tree, vitality, longevity, perseverance, preserve, security, forethought, thrift, sage, wisdom, purification, harmony. Just like I mentioned, saging your apartment. So purification is definitely a theme for you, making sure you purify your space, you purify your body, you take those spiritual baths, you burn that sage. This is a major theme for you, pile number 2. Cauldron, creation, opportunity, caring. So I feel like for you guys, there's also a message around like focusing on your health, but not in a way of like, oh, I'm going to go wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, like I said, and go do sprints. It's more like focusing on your health, focusing on like cutting down on stress, focusing on giving yourself pause, focusing on getting enough sleep, and making sure that you're kind of relaxing and giving yourself space to do that. I feel like there's a message around building something this year, making something that is going to be really amazing, but almost like there's no need to rush. You don't need to put yourself in some panicked, I have to do this type of energy. I feel like it's going to come through in the timeline that it's meant to come through, and it's going to be a success. But if you put this pressure on yourself or you try to make it all perfect, I feel like that's not, it's almost like you're going to have a much better outcome if you give yourself space to pause and if you allow this to come to you naturally as well in 2026. So you may feel inspired to start a project or creative idea or another business in 2026, but it's almost like you don't start working on it this year, or if you do, it's a slow start, or if you do, it's something that just happens naturally and kind of pours out of you, and it doesn't feel like this energy around like, well, I'm going to write a book, so I'm going to tie myself to my desk and I'm not going to leave and I'm going to make myself write for 12 hours. It feels like, you know, maybe you allow yourself to write the outline and write a few chapters, and it's kind of like giving yourself that pause or that permission to do things bit by bit, inch by inch, kind of like this little earthworm card where, you know, the earthworms move and bury themselves in the ground, but they're not like speeding across miles a day. They're just gonna make a little bit of room here, a little bit of room there, and kind of bit by bit, or like this chipmunk, you know, collecting nuts for the winter. It's going to be one nut at a time and squirreled away, but over time that builds up to something really amazing. Let me get into some more tarot for you. What's going to be happening for pile number 3, pile number 2 in 2026, Spirit? What is going to be a major theme? So we have this Strength card. It actually came out reversed, so let me reverse it. Then we have the 9 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, King of Swords, 2 of Cups, and the 2 of Wands. So I definitely feel like some of you guys could be, like I said, traveling or taking a trip, planning a trip, doing something really exciting with where you live, choosing to live somewhere else. And the other thing that's coming through with this 2 of Cups is you may be meeting someone. If you're single or if you're in a relationship, this could be a really beautiful time to bond with your partner and spend time with them. I'm also seeing someone who's single like creating a vision board and really mapping out the person that they want to meet and how they look like, you know, what kind of hair they have, what kind of job they have, and kind of getting down into the details, but like really being sure of all the qualities they want to see in this person, and that also helping to set the energy so that they can welcome this in. The other thing that's coming through with that is you are so spiritually gifted at this time that you may literally be able to go into a deep trance or meditation and meet your future partner or your future spouse or your future boyfriend or girlfriend, and really connect with them that way. You may be able to visit them on the astral plane. I feel like a lot of you guys in 2026, this is my spiritual deep growth pile. This is my pile of girls and guys who are going to be, stepping into their spiritual power and really unleashing it into the world. I feel like for you guys as well, there is this competitiveness around you with the Nine of Wands. You have a lot of people who are kind of coming for you and are looking up to you and want your position. And a lot of you guys have to be okay with that. A lot of you guys also have to be okay with kind of stepping into the spotlight and being seen and not shying away from that. The other thing that's coming through is like intellect and deep conversations are going to be really important to you this year. You may find that you date someone who's very smart and highly intelligent with this King of Swords. And I feel like if in the past you were okay with other more shallow things, this is the year you're really going to insist that someone like be super smart and super funny and the conversation be on point. And I feel like as well, you have to realize how distinct and how powerful your own perspective is, that you are actually an incredible communicator and an incredible thinker, and the things you have to say are super interesting. So it's kind of like, let's go ahead and like trust them and lean into this and maybe share it with the world. Let's get into these astro dice for you to end off this reading. So we have Taurus, the 12th house, aka Pisces. Okay, and then we have the nodes coming through. So let's see, Taurus energy. Taurus energy is the second house of earned income, and Taurus is definitely that energy around slowing down. It is the cow. I mean, it's the male cow, the bull, but it is a cow. So if you can imagine a cow grazing in a field in the middle of May, there's no rush to Taurus. There's no feeling of like, I have to do it right now. And I feel like that's the beauty of Taurus. It really is about slowing down, relaxing, leaning into that Venus energy, allowing things to feel good, allowing things to be nice and gentle and easy. And I feel like that's really what you're leaning into. That could be your theme for 2026, is like maybe indulging a little bit more. Maybe also if you've been like trying to diet or you've been really hard on your body, learning how to like speak to your body in a positive and kind and gentle way instead of trying to like white knuckle your way into looking a certain way and being really harsh on yourself and spiking up your cortisol. I feel like some of the messages this year around your health are just around slowing down, relaxing, and letting yourself be as healthy as you can be in a way that may feel gentle and relaxed and not harsh. We also have this theme kind of with Pisces. Pisces is also a very gentle energy, and it also is connected through with creativity, psychic abilities. Pisces, the 12th house, also rules hidden places like convents, jails, attics, all like hidden areas. And it is that hidden part of your chart that rules your deepest subconscious. So a lot of you guys may feel really called to kind of retreat from the world at this time and go into your own psychic space and maybe learn to astral project or learn to go super deep into meditation. Learning to trust your intuition with others, I think, is going to be huge. And I also feel like Spirit is giving some of you guys downloads around like a book to write or something to create that's going to be so incredible, and you're going to be so happy with the payoff and with like the end result. But you kind of have to trust that process and really allow yourself to listen to those creative insights. And then we have the North Node. So this is really a fundamental and kind of life-changing year. I feel like this is your year when you really discover your full potential and power. You may start really feeling the weight of how your energy affects others, how people gravitate towards your energy, how people want to be around you, and may not even know that consciously. Like they might subconsciously seek out your energy, like you're sitting alone at a coffee shop and they just have to take the table next to you, or, you know, a hater that stalks your Instagram and they don't know why they're doing that. They may think it's because like, oh, I just think she's cringe, but deep down it's because they want and crave your energy. And I think you're starting to figure that out, like what a valuable commodity you are, and starting to figure out kind of what you deserve, that you are a very top tier person, pile two. And throughout this year of 2026, you may feel really called to refine the people you surround yourself with, no longer allow toxic people to be in your life, and cut some people off. And you may also might start to change your friend group so that you can hang out with people that are almost on a higher level. They are more spiritually mature or more financially successful, or people you can kind of learn from, people that are helping you with your growth. I feel like that's another thing that's coming through, is like no more time spent or wasted with people that like bring you down. Instead, you're very aware of like where you feel good, what makes you feel good, who inspires you, and you don't really have time for anyone who's not doing that. So that is what I have for you. Pile number two. I really hope that resonates, guys. If it does, I would love to hear from you in the comments. I am very curious about this pile. I would love to know whether you have been feeling this energetic shift. I mean, you guys are my psychic pile, so I'm sure maybe you had some intuition beforehand. So let me know how this resonates for you. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I'm not really posting as actively over here on YouTube, just super busy with some life stuff, but I do still post over on my Patreon very actively. So if you're interested in joining me over there, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. There are over 130 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. And then you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted readings about your past life and soul mission in this lifetime. Also, I am posting one about where you're Delulu in your life. Either that's already up or gonna be up. There's so much content to choose from. I can't really keep track of all of it. But like I said, head on over to my Patreon if you want to see some of those videos, and the link is underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, astrology, channeling, mediumship, a combination, whether you would like it to be a live one-on-one session or a pre-recorded reading, you get to customize your time with me to make it the perfect session for you. So if that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you all my love and light, and I will see you very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile three, welcome to your reading. So you guys got hostilities, man holding a coin, goddess of the moon, seventh chakra, Archangel Uriel, and door to romance. So, this could be a very exciting year for you guys. It feels like there's a social vibe going on. If you are single, this could be an amazing year for you to meet a partner or to meet a person. I feel like it's almost like you're gonna be having a lot of admirers. You're gonna have your choice. You're gonna have your pick. I feel like a lot of people are gonna be noticing you, and you guys might literally just be going out a lot more, socializing, making friends, and just kind of like almost making a name for yourself. There's a very brave energy around this time too. Like even with this hostilities card coming out, how that's resonating for me is kind of this Mars Aries energy of just not being afraid. Like, yeah, you might get some drama, you might get some haters, but it's almost like you're big when you have haters. You're doing something right when you do have those haters, because if you're just like a nobody, no one's going to care about you. It's only when you're like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Madonna or whoever, Ariana, that you're going to have people like who actively hate on you. If you're like a small time person, no one cares about you. Obviously that's a metaphor, but I feel like for you guys, this is kind of your year of maybe being in the limelight a little bit, like people actually noticing you and paying attention to you. You could also be leveling up financially with this man holding a coin card. So this could be a guy who's also very generous that wants to date you. So someone who wants to financially provide for you. I'm seeing a blonde guy. Obviously that won't apply to everyone, but I am seeing like an attractive blonde guy coming in. I feel like spirit kind of wants you to like get your groove back is what I'm getting. Like wants to remind you of your worth. So if you have been feeling down about, maybe insecure about something, something is going to happen in 2026 to make you realize your worth. Like if you've been questioning yourself when it comes to the dating market, like maybe you're either in an unhappy relationship or you're single and you've been single and you're like, oh, I'm never going to find someone. Spirit might just have you like, have someone notice you, like have a lot of people checking you out on the street and you start noticing like, what, did I do something different with my hair? Do I have something on my face? Like all these guys are like checking for me. What's going on here? Or you have like, you meet someone, hopefully, if you're not in if you're in a relationship, you're not doing too much flirting with anyone else, but maybe you just meet someone like at a bar or at a restaurant and you're platonically talking to them, but they say like, you're so beautiful, and you feel this kind of spark with them. And, things might serendipitously happen to make you kind of realize your worth and to be like, you know what, I'm not limited. I am this unlimited, incredible person and creature and entity who is capable of manifesting whatever I want. So I feel like you're really going to be aware of your own power and your own influence on others and how other people feel your energy. You're going to start really noticing that. If you're in a relationship, this could be an incredible year for romance and love and bonding with your partner. And I am feeling like you guys might go on some amazing vacation together, travel somewhere, and there may be a lot of deep inner bonding that happens with you guys, like opening up to each other, really getting deep, really growing with each other, getting to know each other, and kind of like the connection just gets better and better, I guess. Let me get into, but Spirit is mentioning, I'm going to pull these cards and start laying out the tarot, but Spirit is also mentioning like something around jealousy, haters. I'm guessing that's what this hostilities card means. Like some of you guys are really going to have it. I don't know. There's some people that have it with their family, other people that could be friends, other people that could be a combination. But I do feel like you have some people who are seeing everything you have going on and they're not liking it. And Spirit is telling me some of them you don't realize are haters, and this might come to a head in 2026 where you end up kind of like cutting off a friend or reevaluating some things or choosing to like take certain people out of your life that you used to be close to. I feel like you're going to be doing a little bit of pruning with your personal relationships. So we did get the Ace of Cups. That can definitely be a brand new relationship. And if you're in a romantic relationship, it could be like a friendship as well, Spirit is telling me. But I do feel like there's also this beautiful romantic energy that wants to come in for the singles. Again, it's almost like reminding you of your worth. Like you might date someone that in the past you would have thought was completely out of your league. You would have been like, oh, I could never get with someone like that, or they're not going to want to be with me. This could be a very powerful person with this Emperor card coming through. Someone that like a lot of people are aware of, or they are very powerful and successful. They own their own business or they're at some high position in life. I feel like for you, Spirit is wanting you to also focus on having fun in 2026, like really making it a priority to make sure that you're creating space in your life for like fun, magic, joy, kind of like making sure you have time to go out and dance, go out and try new restaurants, and it's not all work and business. Spirit really wants you to kind of make your social life a priority and make sure that you're spending time out and about with others. And again, I feel like there's some energy around you feeling your worth and feeling your value with that, like realizing the effect you have on others, and you kind of have to put yourself out there in order to get that. If you have been in the past someone who's kind of been like codependent, prone to just like losing yourself in a relationship, or like losing yourself in friendships and hyper fixating on one friend and neglecting everyone else, this could be a message for you around making sure you have more balance in your life. So making sure you're not just only spending time with your partner or your bestie, but like you have a wider friend group. So maybe signing up for like ceramics classes, or signing up for like a local gym, and like chatting with the other girls in the workout classes, you know? I feel like there's something around you really needing to like expose yourself to kind of large groups of people and put yourself out there in that way, not just like hide away in your safety zone. And I actually think you're going to be like a lot more confident by the time 2027 rolls around. By the time the end of the year happens, you're going to be like, I feel like either you have a whole new friend group, you're very rooted in this friend group, you feel very like happy and confident with them, maybe with your career as well, but you're just going to be so much more believing in yourself. If you're ever that person that like gets nervous before you head into a function, or freaks out when you have to do public speaking, I feel like that's going to end by 2027. You're gaining so much confidence, and Spirit just showed me a move for some of you guys. So I do feel like you might be moving houses or moving homes, apartments. I feel like for you, there's also this energy around being very careful and picky when you live, where you live. Spirit is saying there might be like another opportunity that comes up with moving somewhere that doesn't pan out. So like maybe you apply for an apartment, but someone else gets it, or you apply for a house and then the owner takes it off the market, or something like this, where you don't really get what you want, but Spirit is saying this is for the best. Like you're going to be a lot happier with the second option. Spirit is highlighting summertime for when you might make this move. Somewhere in the summer, I'm seeing June, July, May. For those of you guys who are in a relationship, Spirit is showcasing me that there might be like a road bump at the early part of the year, specifically March. There might be a little bit of a bump in the road when it comes to the relationship, or kind of like miscommunications that I feel get hammered out more by April. So if you are in a relationship and you're committed to your person and happy with that, then, you know, of course you can just get through that. But it could be like make or break. There could be, you know, a time in March where it's like some people break up, some people stay together. I feel like for you, you're really being called also not to, again, not to lose your own identity, kind of to keep track of who you are. I think in general, it can be a tendency in relationships that you kind of like spend all your time with your partner and you guys just hang out together all the time. But I feel like Spirit is saying, make sure that you're like holding on to who you are. Like if you were always someone who wore sheet masks before bed, and now you're in a relationship and you're like, oh, I don't want him to see me with like a sheet mask looking crazy and my hair up, and, you know, like skin cream on, zit cream or whatever, you know. Maybe make sure you're still doing that if that's what makes you happy to do the skincare masks, or you used to always read like trashy romance novels and now you're like, oh, I don't want my partner to judge, so I'm not going to read them. Like, go back to reading them. Like, I feel like this is about finding who you are and really being very unapologetic about it. And also maybe finding like some people around you that also really love you. Like, finding some friends, finding some people who get you. There's something here around being much more authentic in 2026. Like, I feel like the old you used to maybe obfuscate yourself and hide yourself and kind of like put on a good veneer so other people would approve of you. And now what's coming through is like, you are so unapologetically yourself and authentic this time that it's like the people you resonate with and the people that come into your life now are just, they're going to really know the real you. They're not going to get this veneer. They're not going to get this other version of you. They're really going to get the real deal and either love it or leave it. But you're going to be so much happier not wasting your time and energy like hiding or trying to twist yourself or change yourself so that they like you. You just don't have any energy for that. But you are going to have, like I said, with this Page of Wands reverse, I feel like you're going to have so many suitors and so many romantic admirers. Even if you're in a relationship, obviously, if you are, you very likely, you know, wouldn't hopefully want to entertain these people, but you might still just be like, oh, nice. Like, you know, the guy at the coffee shop gave me like a free pastry, or like, oh, that was nice to be checked out, you know, like I feel like you're just enjoying a little bit of this attention. Like you are kind of, it feels to me a little bit like center stage vibe for 2026. So I feel like spirit is really calling on you to like also really do things to chase your own happiness and work on your own mental health is what spirit is actually pointing it out. Like that might be a little bit of a heavy topic, but you know, if you have been feeling a little depressed, making sure that like you have a routine around working out, making sure that you're eating a healthy diet. I did not know, but apparently high sugar diets like lead to depression. And I realized that I think I have moon in the 6th house. So I feel these like fluctuations in my body like immediately. It would take someone else like a year to feel it. But because my moon is there, I feel it like 2 days of eating unhealthily and I'm depressed. And I remember, yeah, there was like a few days when I had been eating like a lot of chocolate. It was around the holidays and feeling really depressed and reading that study, being like, oh, let me stop doing that. And like, immediately it went away. Again, it might not happen as quick as you, depending on what signs you have in the 6th house. But I really think that is so key. It's like a lot of times what we eat, a lot of times what we spend our time doing, even though it sounds overrated, it sounds like, oh yeah, exercise, eat healthy, like blah, blah, blah. But that stuff is so true. And I feel like you guys are also going to realize that in 2026, like you're going to really start sticking to a schedule and almost like holding yourself to a higher routine. Like maybe you're going to wake up in the morning and get up by a certain time. You might find yourself almost like becoming a morning person or not. But like, I feel like either way, you might decide to start eating a regular healthy breakfast. Like every morning it's like overnight oats, or every morning it's eggs and, you know, some avocado or something. I feel like for you, you're really getting to also go after your hopes and dreams, something with a career. You could be stepping into this emperor energy where you're like, I'm going to open that business. I'm going to start that company. I'm going to start that YouTube account, or I'm going to, you know, open this real estate investment, like whatever it is. I feel like you're really stepping into your own power and becoming very unapologetic this year. Let's get into these cards for you. Pile number 3. So we have basil, prosperity, luck, love, winter, an ending, recharging, reflection, soil, stability, simplicity, and summer, expansion, growth. Wow, so you guys got winter and summer. That's really cool. The two, wow, I feel like those are just two of the most powerful seasons, right? Where you really see the full effect of kind of that time of the year. Like fall, spring, they're kind of in between, but like winter and summer are going full send. It's either like insanely hot or insanely cold, right? So I feel like that's the vibe with you too. Like you're no longer kind of balancing yourself and trying to like hold yourself down and be appetizing to everyone, have everyone like you. You're really being your full self, and you're kind of either going to go 100% or step away entirely. But yeah, this does seem like it's definitely a building year, and we do have this basil, prosperity, luck, love. Basil is such a beautiful and positive herb. And definitely good for like love spells, anything with that. I feel like you guys are definitely going to be highlighted with love, and specifically around your physical appearance. I feel like you could also be glowing up with your physical appearance. You could be doing something different with your fitness routine, with what you eat. And you could also be, sorry guys, I actually ran out of storage, but going back into the reading, what I was saying is you might be changing something really drastically about your physical appearance, changing your hair color, changing your hairstyle. I feel like you're going to be taking that more seriously, adopting like a fitness or health routine so that you can change something about your appearance. I feel like this is the time of year when this is your year to really almost like take a hard look at things. And there is this energy around fun though. Like we have this 9 of Cups. So again, this could be an incredible time to socialize. This could be an incredible time to go to parties. You could be being invited to a lot of parties this year. And I feel like people are just noticing you and kind of like really enjoying your presence this time. Let's get into some more cards for you. Pile number 3. So we want to know what is happening for pile 3 in 2026. So we have Archangel Gabriel, communication of all kinds, overworked, out of balance. Excuse me. I have really loud sneezes, by the way, so sorry if that blew everyone's ears out. So we got everyone's ears out. Deceit, betrayal, manipulation. And let's get one more card for 2026. Phobias, anxiety, overcoming fears. Actually, I want to get like one or two more. Okay, because these are all such heavy cards. Something missing and finding love. So I feel like this is definitely this time when you guys could be finding love. It does seem like even if you're in love, there may be this feeling that there's still something more you want. There does feel like kind of a theme for this year is almost like how good can it get? Like instead of settling for whatever used to make you happy in the past or, well, this is good enough, I feel like you're really taking a look at your life this year and being like, this needs to change, that needs to change. I want this, I want more money here, I want more love there. It really feels like you guys are very much paying attention to kind of all the little details in your life and seeing what you need to fix, change, adjust, and kind of, yeah, taking a hard look at all of that and no longer almost gaslighting yourself or pretending like you're happy with the status quo. I feel like for you, you're going to be very intentional about your time this year. And if you do feel overworked, if you do feel like you're not happy with the friend group around you, you're going to also make choices to really cut that off. Work-wise, I'm not getting as many work messages coming through, to be honest. It does feel like your work is not as much of a focus this year. It does feel like finances, again, I'm almost seeing the energy around something new. So this could be changing jobs, switching jobs, getting a new position. It does feel like things kind of are just moving along at a certain trajectory, though. It doesn't feel like anything wild is happening in this arena, like, oh my God, I'm going to totally start a new company or I'm completely changing lanes. It feels almost like maybe work is continuous and stable. It does feel like your social life is really what Spirit wants to highlight for you and what Spirit is working on with you at this time. But we can see the other tarot and maybe some work stuff will come through. But I really feel like something Spirit is highlighting in 2026 is kind of your social life and more so your emotional life than work. Let's get into some tarot for you guys. So we have the Ace of Cups. Oh, wow. So that came through twice. First card both times. Definitely could be a new relationship. The Seven of Pentacles. That is definitely that energy around just continuing to work and continue to plod along. Four of Wands. So that could be having a lot of fun. I mean, the Four of Wands is literally parties, weddings, all kinds of social events and occasions. And we have the Ace of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, the World card, the Four of Pentacles reversed, and the Three of Pentacles. So like I said, work doesn't seem like that much of a focus, and now we have all these reversed pentacles. So yeah, it does seem like maybe some of you guys are like, I don't know, getting money from some other kind of a way with the Six of Pentacles. Maybe I got some housewives in this pile, or people who maybe are relying on their parents' money, or you have a job, but it's just not like the focus of your whole life. Like you're not spending every waking moment trying to figure out your money situation and thinking about your job and obsessed with that. It feels like you guys are very kind of like bringing your mindset to other things this year, and work continues. Like I said, that Seven of Pentacles is very slow and steady. So it's very like we're planting these seeds, we're tending them. You know, it's literally that energy around like you plant the seed in the fall or the spring, and then you harvest them, you know, half a year from now, 6 months from now. So if you planted them in fall, you harvest in spring. If you plant it in spring, you harvest in fall. And so it's not that overnight crazy success, and it's not failure either. It's just kind of like we're tending this, we're giving it the water, we're giving it the oxygen. And I feel like that's the vibe around your work, to be honest. It feels like things continue on at whatever pace, but it doesn't feel like anything crazy starts happening or you're like, I have to go back to school, or I'm a workaholic. It just feels like you're taking one step at a time, and maybe you're not as fulfilled at work, but you're kind of filling your cup in other ways, to be honest. I could see some of you guys even drifting out of the field you're in. Maybe that might happen next year, or for some of you guys, it may happen in 2026. But I feel like work doesn't seem like this all-encompassing thing. It seems fine and it seems good, but nothing super crazy. And this could also be a message that's important to hear, though. Sometimes we can like obsess over the small things at work, like a boss, a coworker doesn't like us, and we're like, oh my God, am I going to get fired? This could be that reassuring message that kind of like, hey, it's all going to be okay. You don't need to freak out or panic about this. Just keep going on this trajectory. Just keep doing your work, and like, it's going to be fine. You may, though, have some generosity directed at you in other ways with this Six of Pentacles coming through. So you may have either people at work, clients, or like even a generous romantic partner, generous family members that do want to give you some kind of a windfall or payout in 2026. This could also be you being involved in charity in some way. I feel like for you, you are, again, becoming more social. So this charity vibe, like joining a charity for the fun of it, joining a charity obviously also to do good, but also for like the little social events and social occasions and talking to people would be a really good idea. And with the World card as well, I definitely think there's a theme around travel and moving for you guys. Let's get into some astro dice for pile number 3. What's coming through? So we have the 10th house. Okay, we have Jupiter, aka Sagittarius, and we have Leo. So we have Capricorn, Jupiter, and we have Leo. So that 10th house is the house of your hopes, or not your hopes, your honors, kind of your reputation. And again, I feel like you guys are going to have a really good reputation at this time. Capricorn is also that slow and steady energy that I mentioned, where things take time to grow. They don't happen overnight. It's not a really fast moving planet, Saturn. It's a slower energy, and things take time to kind of come together. But it will, if you continue at that pace, things will pay off. So I do feel like with your career, this is that slow and steady energy that is not an overnight success, but you're going to be happy with the results if you stick with it. Also, the 10th house is your honors, your reputation, and that I feel like is really on point. I actually feel like there's so many people who are like curious. Ooh, who are curious. I'm just holding this thing while I do my reading. But I feel like there are so many people who are curious about you. So many people who are like wanting to know what you have going on. So many people who are kind of have your name on their lips and are like curious and want to see more of you. So again, I feel like there's a big invitation coming through this year to just be bold and put yourself out there and not be afraid, not be hiding away in the shadows or anything, but like really being your unapologetic truest self. Jupiter is blessings. I do feel like this is a blessing year, and specifically through like other people. I see you learning a lot through other people. Jupiter is the great teacher, and it also rules the 9th house of travel. So you guys could be traveling, that's for sure, or like moving internationally, living internationally, making a move with your living situation. I also feel like with Jupiter brings us blessings and abundance, and I feel like you're going to get that through, again, your connections with other people this year. Spirit is really wanting you to push yourself socially and to be seen and to be known by others and to show yourself for who you are. And if you do that, I do feel like you're going to get a lot of positive blessings, whether it comes to money, whether it comes to love, all areas of life. There's a lot of expansion and excitement, and Spirit really wants you to chase that excitement and chase what makes you feel good. And it's funny because that kind of leads through to our final sign, Leo, because Leo is the star. Leo is unafraid to be seen. Leo is like, look at me, I don't care, you know, you can see me and I'm going to shine as bright as I can. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. I'm not going to hide away in the shadows. And I feel like that's really what Spirit wants for you, is for you to look your best, feel your best, be your best, and be very confident. Like almost like there's an energy here as we go into 2026 of reminding yourself, I want to say, who the F you are. I'm not going to actually curse because I try not to curse on my YouTube. I do curse on my Patreon, but on YouTube, I try to keep it family friendly. But yeah, it feels like I want to say that word, like who the F you are, and reminding yourself of that and reminding yourself of your personal power and not allowing anyone to stand in your way who's trying to make you forget that. So if you do have like hater friends, hater family members, any kind of hater quality energy in your life, that is going to go in 2026. And I feel like you're really going to learn to throw those shackles off and be who you really are, loud, proud, and unapologetically. And that's totally this Leo energy. So yeah, this is a really positive one, pile 3. We have had some negative readings so far. So just know that I'm not just glazing you guys or saying that to be, telling you guys it's going to be a good year, because probably people will like that on YouTube. We have definitely had some negative readings. So I hope you guys appreciate this one. I hope you guys are excited for 2026, because this one was very, very happy and positive to read for. So I would love to hear how it resonated for you. If you want to let me know and drop it in the comments, I always appreciate that. I'm always super curious to see how it feels for you, if you already feel this energy coming in, or if you have felt this vibe or these downloads coming in already. Let me know in the comments, guys. And also make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. There are over 130 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I have not been posting as much over here on YouTube, but I am still posting on Patreon. And I just posted readings about your past life and how that affects your current soul goals for this lifetime. I also, maybe it's not uploaded quite yet, I'm not sure the timing, but I do have a reading all about where in your life you're delulu. So there is a ton of content to choose from. Like I said, over 130 exclusive readings. If you're interested in that, head on over to my Patreon, and I still upload regularly over there. I know I'm just not the most reliable here, but if you want to sign up, go to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you there. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you're looking for tarot, astrology, channeling, mediumship, a combination, whether you would like it to be a quick reading, a longer reading, a live reading, one-on-one, or a pre-recorded reading, you get to really customize your reading, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and book a time slot with me. And the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 4, welcome to your reading. So you guys got cornucopia, second chakra, Archangel Ariel, yin yang, walking away, the world, and carrying connections. So the first thing that's coming through is you guys are going to be busy this year. It feels like it's a very exciting year with a lot going on, a lot happening, and honestly a lot of expansion in different areas of your life. I feel like you guys are going to be having a lot of opportunities this year, and if you're willing to kind of open the doors and get rid of some old things in your life, I feel like there are so many exciting opportunities that want to come in for you in 2025. So one of the things that's coming through with relationships, a lot is coming through when it comes to like your career, your living situation, your love life. So let's start with love life. I do feel like with this Caring Connections card, there is going to be opportunity for, first of all, a very deep connection. I am seeing some very intense love. And actually, if some of you guys are very kind of, I want to say, a little sexually repressed, I know that sounds intense to just hop right into that, but I do feel like there is some kind of healing happening with your lower chakras, and we do have this second chakra, your base chakra, coming through, and I do feel like there's almost like going to be an amazing sexual connection coming through, like someone that you really just enjoy spending time with, someone that you can really kind of open your heart with. And if you have any kind of like bad feelings about your sexuality or weirdness or like self-consciousness or something, I feel like that's going to be healed. Like you might be now feeling more aligned with your body, feeling more open sexually, or just kind of more confident in a way and able to really connect with someone deeply on that level. So I do feel like whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single, this is the main area of your life that spirit kind of wants you to focus on. Maybe some of you guys are my esoteric, metaphysical, spiritual pile. And if that's the case, a lot of us who are in the spiritual world, we have a tendency to like hang out in the upper chakras, the third eye, the crown chakra, where we're, kind of in the spirit realm. And whenever that's the case, you can have a lack of balance, lack of groundedness in your lower chakras, which connect to the earth. So anything that can bring you back into your physical human body is a good thing. And so obviously I'm not saying like, hey, make reckless sexual choices and put yourself at risk. But I do feel like there is a really beautiful sexual connection, romantic connection that wants to come in. I only keep mentioning that it's sexual because spirit is highlighting this as one, a highlight of the relationship. So this might be a relationship where like the sex is just amazing and you just like enjoy being with this person so much. And two, where I feel like there's a depth of connection and healing that needs to happen kind of with your lower chakras, where maybe you're more rooted into your body. Maybe you feel more confident about your body. Maybe you start learning to appreciate your body and start learning to really inhabit your body. Like if you've had any issues with sex, or maybe you're self-conscious during it or unable to really enjoy yourself for whatever reason, this could be an area that's being healed. So that's the first thing, kind of like starting out really strong, right? But that's the first thing that's coming through is I feel like someone that kind of wants to heal you in that area. I know that sounds like a really cheesy pickup line, right? Like something someone would say to you in a bar. But I really do get the vibe that like their higher self is kind of like, yes, let's heal this area. They might not know that they have a spiritual motivation as a human. They might just be like, oh yeah, they're hot. But I do feel like there's some kind of spiritual purpose to this that's coming in. And I do feel like this relationship is going to be really beautiful, really intense. If you're in an established relationship, this could be deepening that connection and really enjoying yourself with your partner and really finding time to like be intimate with this person and have one-on-one time. And if you are single, it could be, obviously attracting someone like this. And I feel like there's a lot of depth to this connection. What I'm seeing is a lot of adventure, a lot of exploration, possibly travel with that world card. I see travel for you guys throughout this year. Like it feels like you guys are going to be exploring, going new places, trying new things, trying new food. Like I said, I'm just getting this vibe of like throwing the doors open. Like if you have been in a very almost scared energy field where you have been nervous or anxious, I feel like one thing spirit is coming through to kind of teach you is like life is short kind of a vibe. Like those worries are going to start going out the window and you're going to start just being like, you know what? I don't care if something goes wrong. I want to live my life. I want to be adventurous. I want to have fun and I'm just going to go for it. And I feel like this changes your whole energy field throughout 2026, where like you're going to start saying yes to things that in the past you would have overthought. You're going to be like, let's do it. Even if you don't know the full plan, even if you're not sure, even if you're a little anxious, you're going to be much more willing to kind of throw caution to the wind and just go for it. But I will say, just going back to this relationship, because it's the main thing spirit wants to bring up with this yin yang card, I feel like you guys really have a counterpart here. For some of you guys, this could be the year you meet your soulmate. I'm not going to lie. This could be the year that you meet your person. If you're in a relationship, it seems like it's going to be a beautiful year for your relationship where you guys are going to just bond and like become a team and become a partnership. This could also be deepening your relationship in some kind of concrete way. For example, having a child together, getting married, getting engaged, buying a house together, something that really deepens the commitment and almost like ups the stakes. Because what I am seeing is a connection with someone where you guys feel like each other's, I keep wanting to say adventure partner. It feels like you're my buddy, you're my pal, and we're like on this trip together. It's kind of like giving me the vibes of like two friends starting out on a road trip, or two besties after college going on a trip to Europe, you know, and like backpacking around Europe, which I did. And I highly recommend. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, it feels like you're kind of like exploring together, kind of like trying new things together and throwing caution to the wind together. And I feel like this connection is so beautiful. And this person is coming in like as an ally, a friend, someone that wants to help you also maybe work through your own issues and like improve certain areas of your life. So it feels like a lot of growth happens for you through this relationship, but in such a fun way. It almost doesn't feel like growth because it just feels so positive that you might not realize like, oh, I've worked through a bunch of different traumas. This is awesome, because it just feels like such a good time. With walking away as well, like I said, I feel like you do have to be ready to release certain things. If some of you guys have had haters around you, I feel like you're going to have to make that choice to cut some of these people off in 2026, and it may become more apparent to you at the beginning of the year. Like if there's a relationship that you recently have felt a ton of tension with, maybe it was easier in the past, and in the past, like this person didn't bother you as much and you were like, oh, whatever, you know, they're kind of negative about me sometimes, but like it's okay. Now it's going to really bother you. Like you're going to be like, this person just really needs to get off my back. This is so annoying. Like it's just not going to like sit right with you. So I feel like it's going to become more and more tension until you're finally ready to fully release and let go of some of these connections in the past that maybe are like old long-standing friendships or family members or someone that's been in your life for a while, but you're not resonating with them anymore. Because Spirit is saying you've done a lot of spiritual work on yourself and you're kind of ready to level up. And so you are feeling the tension with certain people that came in at a time in your life where you were more low vibrational. Let me clear these and then we can get into the tarot for you guys. So let's do tarot for pile number 4. So we have the Ace of Swords, the Seven of Cups, Prince of Pentacles, King of Swords, Ace of Wands, and the Nine of Cups reversed. So it's interesting this Prince of Pentacles and King of Swords came in together. Those could definitely be. And by the way, I didn't show you because they are not, they have some nudity on the cards, to be honest, so I don't like to use them. But we also got the Star card and the Lovers reversed. So those are two energies I am seeing coming in for you guys as well. But it's interesting, the Prince of Pentacles, King of Swords. So if you are single, this could be an earth sign coming in, especially a younger male earth sign under the age of 30. So Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, or an air sign. Those are both male, but of course, if you're into women, it could be a woman. But then air, of course, is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But I am seeing that it's almost like what's coming through as well is you guys are going to be challenged in 2026. You guys are going to be going through a little bit of conflict, or it's like you're going to be in situations where you really have to figure yourself out, figure out something new. I am seeing a lot of newness coming in, and you guys did get two aces, the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands. So that could definitely be new endeavors, like a new job, a new situation, a new living situation, or living somewhere new, or traveling somewhere new. Because what I keep seeing in my mind's eye is Spirit showing me like a time when I've gotten off a plane and that moment sometimes when you're at the airport and you have to figure out like how to get a taxi or how to take the metro to your new hotel, or you know, how to get into the city from the airport. And it's almost like that scrambling around moment where you're like, okay, where do I go? Maybe you read up on like what's the taxi situation like, or you pre-booked it, but you still have to kind of figure out the location. Or maybe you didn't book it and you're like, I'll just get a cab when I arrive. And then you're kind of like, okay, oh, how do I book a cab? Maybe Ubers aren't allowed there. Maybe, you know, maybe there's a bunch of cabs in front and they're calling your name, or they're trying to get new clients, like, and kind of the chaos of that moment, and the moment of figuring it out, and the moment of being like, okay, I'm going to get in this person's cab. And I feel like that's the vibe with you guys. Like, there's something very brand new coming in 2026. There's some kind of situation. This could be with career, for sure, because Spirit is highlighting that, where it's like you're not fully, you don't really know what you're doing yet. You know, there's that moment of hesitancy, and there's that moment of like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm kind of out of my depth, and I'm not quite sure, and I'm not really confident here. And then I do feel like you guys are going to figure it out, but there's so much like boldness and excitement coming through. Like, I feel like overall it is a very positive feeling, this moment of like figuring out what you're going to do, this moment of sorting through the details and being brave and just going for it. That I feel like is the major theme in 2026, is like getting yourself out of your comfort zone. For some of you guys, Spirit is wanting me to focus on this Seven of Cups. I feel like for some of you guys, you could also be a little bit hung up on like an ex as we enter into 2026, or hung up on some older situation that might be almost like upsetting you. And if that's the case, I feel like you are going to be called to release this. This could be why Spirit wants to like put you in a totally new living situation, move cities, have you travel somewhere internationally, have you do something to get your mind off it. Because I feel like some of this is Spirit saying basically, it's time for you to stop thinking about the old. It's time for you to stop living in a place of trauma or wondering or the old. And it's time for you to step into like all these new possibilities and get your mind off this and realize your own power, so that you stop kind of wasting time on someone or something that doesn't resonate with you anymore or isn't meant to be in your life. And if it's not in your life, it's not meant to be in your life. So Spirit really wants you guys to kind of focus on that. Even for some of you guys, this could be about drinking less with the Nine of Cups. If you have been drinking a lot, obviously that's not going to apply to everyone, but it's almost like, I know for me, I mean, this doesn't happen to me anymore, but I feel like when I've had like bad breakups or whatever, of course, it's always when you've had like too much wine, or you've had a few shots, or you've had a few drinks, that you start thinking about the ex, and you start like getting emotional, or you start being like, I should text him, you know? And I feel like there's an energy around there of like, there's no need for you to do things that are going to be bringing down your emotional state. There's no need for you to be engaging in anything that's going to be upsetting you, or that's going to be bringing your energy field down. I feel like Spirit is really wanting you to like raise your energy and almost get it as high as you possibly can. So thinking of like the positive things you can do to get yourself excited, things you can do to focus on the good, focus on, you know, whatever is next, instead of like dwelling on the past, dwelling on loss or any kind of negative situation. I feel like Spirit really wants you to be like, okay, and now what? And on to the next. And let me try something new. And really kind of trusting that process with that. And taking yourself out of situations that, you know, used to stress you out. Like, I feel like as hard as it is, sometimes it can be really easy to just like spend all your time at home. But like, without a doubt, when you do have that day when you're like, okay, I'm going to go into the city and go shopping, you always feel so much better. Or if you have that day when you're like, you know, I'm going to book this trip and I'm going to travel somewhere, you're always so relieved that you did that and that you went there. So yeah, there's this vibe around kind of forcing yourself to take one step at a time and move on from something and go into your future, which is so bright and so exciting. You guys might also be called upon to really refine your speaking ability, become better speakers, become better communicators. And I feel like Spirit is saying you really need to get on point with this. It's funny because your reading, Spirit is coming through very no nonsense. Like, I feel like your guides, your angels, your ancestors, they're like, oh, pile 4 can handle this. Like, just give it to them straight. You don't need to sugarcoat. Like, they're like, yeah, pile 4 can handle a lot. Just tell them this and don't worry about it. Whereas for some other piles, I feel like it's like, oh, I need to be gentle, or let me say this really nice. I feel like pile for you guys, Spirit is so aware that you guys are so capable and that you can handle whatever is being thrown at you. If you have been going through a lot of like drama and trauma and stress, that could be why, because I feel like your guides just have so much faith in you, faith in the process, that they're like, don't worry about it. You can handle this. But you know, that is a good thing because, yeah, Spirit is saying you are highly intelligent, you are highly smart, and sometimes you hold yourself back from these opportunities. So I think that's why this year, Spirit is really going to push you to like enter the limelight, be center stage, really use your gifts. So you might find yourself taking on challenges at work. You might find yourself kind of in boardrooms that you never expected that you could enter and having opportunities that, while exciting, are also very intimidating. So honestly, it really bodes well for your career as well, because I feel like you guys have some really beautiful opportunities coming in for your career, and new chances to like try things and make more money, have a better position, that kind of a thing. So we got mortar and pestle, integration, subtlety, thoroughness, rosemary, remembrance, loyalty, faithfulness, roots, healthy patterns, early growth, seeds, new ideas, hope, open-mindedness. It's interesting with this integration, mortar and pestle, because, you know, I think, again, not to turn this into like an 18 plus reading or a sexual reading, I save those for Patreon. But I do feel like it's kind of like a lot of times in spiritual spaces, we can ignore the lower chakras. I know for me, for the longest time, I would always hear in my psychic readings when I would get them, like from other people, not my own, that like my lower chakras were out of whack. And I was always like, okay, boring. Like, I don't want to do this. Same with like my north node is in the second house and south node in the eighth house. Eighth house is like an esoteric occult house. Second house is basically, to sum it up really quick, a house of earning money. And I was always like, this is so boring. Like, I would love, like, give me a top 12th house north node. Give me, you know, an 11th house north node. Give me one of the high level north nodes, because like I want to deal with the heavy level stuff. Like, this is super boring. My like life purpose is to learn how to make money and have a job, and like this is something that is like made fun of in movies, you know, just the person that's like working some boring 9 to 5, and this is my whole life purpose. Like, this is crazy. I want something heavy. I want something intense. But I had to realize that like all those things are equally important. All the wheels of the astrological wheel are equally as important, right? And by the same token, all our chakras are equally as important. And as nice as it is to be able to astral project, if you're like feeling a lack of safety because of your root chakra or your base chakra being out of balance, or if you're, yeah, like if you're unable to connect with yourself sexually or someone else sexually, if you are carrying around a lot of fear or a feeling of being like not of this earth. Like, I feel like a lot of times too in the spiritual community, people will say comments like, oh, I just know I'm not supposed to be on earth. I'm not supposed to be here anymore. I'm not on alignment here. I feel like an alien. And it's like, that's not always necessarily a good thing. I mean, we did come to this earth for a reason, and we should, to a certain extent, feel grounded in our bodies and with our connection to the earth. That's actually really important, and it's actually a really good thing. So making sure that we like integrate that part of ourselves and realizing that those parts of ourselves can coexist. Our lower chakras can absolutely coexist with like our activated third eye, you know? We don't have to like pick or choose. We don't have to be like a nun who never experiences sex in order to be a good spiritual being. In fact, it's the opposite. When we have really activated all our chakras, that's when we're really capable of stepping up to our highest level. Again, I'm not telling anyone that they should like do some kind of risky sexual behavior or put themselves at risk or their bodies at risk. I never would say that. But I am saying that I am feeling like, just in general, you guys almost might be in a tendency to like spend your time meditating or reading tarot or reading astrology. And I feel like Pile Forest Spirit is telling you, make sure you're like appreciating life as a human. Make sure in 2026 that you're like living life, trying new delicious foods, going new places, laughing, going out and talking to people, enjoying that feeling of community with others, not holding yourself away in hermit mode, like studying spirituality, but also like living life and feeling what life is like as a human, feeling that sense of connection when you're with a loved one, whether it's a friend, whether it's a romantic partner, whether it's a family member. And obviously those manifest in different ways. Like the sexual connection would really only come through your partner. Feeling that vibe of connection, human love, human touch, and feeling that vibe around, you know, like just being grounded in your body, feeling the silk sheets against your skin, or feeling the taste of really good chocolate. All those things are vitally important. Feeling that sense of challenge when you like ran a mile and you're sweating, or feeling that sense of adventure when you go to a totally new country where you don't speak the language, or when you're getting out of your comfort zone, or you're going for your walks and you're feeling the wind against your face. You know what I mean? All those things are important. So I really feel like Spirit is calling upon you to kind of push yourself out of your comfort zone and take that risk. Some of you guys might have like a crazy job opportunity that gets sent to you this year, or some kind of out of left field, like totally crazy, like a job offer, an offer to move, an offer to go on a trip, an offer to travel somewhere, a romantic relationship that maybe in the past you would have been like, no, he's a player, or no, I don't date and I don't do that. I feel like Spirit is saying like, take the risk, say yes, go for it, because you are actually such a powerhouse, Pile 4, and this year, if you let it, has the opportunity to be so much fun and so impactful. If you're already in that mode where you're liking to go out and have fun, this could be like the best year ever. Like, I feel like you guys are going to have so many opportunities to travel, to network, to meet new people, and to really like explore and expand your social circle. I actually feel like people are really going to be drawn to you. And there's also this vibe around influential people, like people that may be powerful in their own right and kind of want to see you grow and kind of want to see you do well. You really have this opportunity to plant so many seeds this year and like start something new. Like there's this, I love this. You guys got seeds and roots in 2 separate card pulls. So yeah, this is like a very powerful energy around planting something new and it having the potential to grow so strong. Let me get into this deck. What's happening for pile number 4 in 2024, Spirit? So we got career history, job and work patterns. So definitely your job, highlighted isolation, abandonment, feelings of unworthiness, rejection. This is kind of a heavier deck, which is why I like it. So don't be too scared. Archangel Uriel, passion, spirit connections, relationship, repeat, shift, release, or enjoy. Archangel Raphael, love, healing, miracles. Archangel Raziel, inspiration, mysteries, Akashic records, and finally deceit, betrayal, manipulation. So I feel like, you know, what's coming through with these cards is, it's funny, you got a lot of negative cards, which just keep in mind this deck is like a heavier, more negative deck, which is actually why I like it. But I feel like what's coming through with these cards is, yeah, there's like all these negative things that can happen, but it's almost like, and you will still be standing on the other side, like needing to be reminded that actually it's kind of a relief. Like it's kind of a relief if you get stabbed in the back by someone, or someone breaks your heart, or you know, you lose out on a business deal, or you get fired, and it's like realizing at the end of it, I'm still standing. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen for you guys this year at all. I feel like what's actually happening is mentally you're ripping off the band-aid so that fear of those things aren't going to hold you back. And once that happens, it's like the sky is the limit and you guys can truly achieve whatever you want. I feel like with this relationship repeat card, again, this is actually teaching you, it could come from your past lifetimes, to like let go in a relationship, that it's not always going to be negative, or it's not always going to be a dark side of it. So it's almost like, let your heart get broken, love that deeply, put yourself out there fully, and allow that to be whatever it's going to be. Because I actually feel like there's a lot of healing happening for you. And what I realized as well, in my spiritual journey, when I first started on it, I think I thought that I had to be like alone in my room meditating in order to go through any healing work. Like if I was not, you know, alone, like deep in a trance, that I wasn't actually healing spiritually. And what I realized is healing spiritually in any area of life actually happens when you're like living life. It's kind of like if you have a cut on your finger, you don't need to sit inside in bed for the next 3 weeks until it's completely and totally sealed up and gone. You can go out, you can slap a band-aid on it, go out, have fun, and it will heal in the time being. You know, it may heal a little faster or slower depending on what you do. Like if you go run a marathon, that could take up enough resources and really slow down the healing rate. But short of that, you could pretty much do whatever, and your body is going to take care of that for you. And by the same token, our body and our soul and our heart is healing itself all the time. So we don't need to kind of worry about that. We need to go off and have as much fun and do all those things. And that can actually be how we heal. And I feel like that is what's coming through for you in 2026, is like this incredible opportunity to live your life and have so many fun things happen, and you healing through this process, you stepping out of any isolation if you have been in it, and stepping into just so many blessings. Let me get into these dice for you. Pile number 4. So we have the 7th house, we have the sun, and we have Aquarius. So we have Libra, Leo, and Aquarius. So with the 7th house coming out, of course, this is the house of relationships. I do feel like a lot of you guys are going to be in a really beautiful relationship that's going to add so much value to your life. You're going to feel very fulfilled in this relationship. You're going to feel very inspired by this person. And it's almost like they see the real you. So it allows you to be that better version of yourself. It allows you to enter into this Libra energy and really become this, yeah, like better version of yourself, where you are able to kind of heal this part of your life and trust and open up to someone. And if you're in a relationship, this could be just really deepening that connection and kind of like experiencing like the best part of your relationship, the best sex, the best conversations, just the best time with your partner. With the sun, I do feel like you guys are also being called to step into the spotlight. There might be a lot of opportunities for you to kind of be seen this year, to put yourself out there, to like have that starring role, to get that, you know, lead role in a project, or to like speak at a conference, or to put out a YouTube channel, or whatever the case may be. I feel like also the sun and Leo, it's just such a fun energy. It's such a fun house, the 5th house. I really see travel for a lot of you guys, and I really feel like you're just expanding, trying all these new things. This could be like trying a new hobby this year, trying a new creative endeavor, and just really pushing yourself out of your comfort zone into like, I didn't know I would love salsa dancing, or I didn't know I would be obsessed with like Ethiopian food, or I didn't know that I was going to decide I want to open my own pottery studio or something. And kind of the fun of like that self-discovery and realizing it never ends. That's really how we stay young at heart. The 5th house literally rules children, and we stay young at heart by like continuing to expand, continuing to try new projects, new hobbies, new things, and seeing what aligns with us and what doesn't. And then we also have Aquarius. Aquarius is the house of large groups of people, the 11th house. It's also the house of hopes and wishes. I am seeing you guys really circulate this being a very social year for you. Lots of people getting to know you, lots of people being excited by you. And also the 11th house is ruled by Uranus, the planet of excitement and unexpected things. So I feel like this is definitely an energy around, like I said, travel and trying something new, trying something different. And another thing for some of you guys, as this kind of final thing I'll mention about 2026, is I feel like some of you guys are really like letting go of ideas other people have had for you. Like if you've had family members that expect you to act a certain way, or you've had like friends that like know some old version of you and you feel pressure to like continue with that, I feel like you're really throwing that away and stepping into like, this is who I really am, and I'm not going to be afraid anymore of what anyone else is going to say. I'm not going to let that hold me back. I'm not going to worry about anyone judging me. And that is what is so amazing about this year, and really allowing it to be a breakthrough year for you, where you can kind of start planting these seeds that I feel like are going to follow you for the rest of the decade, where like you could really completely change your life in 2026 and throughout 2027, throughout the rest of the decade, where you're just like rewriting this story and making it so much better. This is so positive, pile 4. I love this for you guys. And yeah, this is just a really beautiful, very happy reading. So I hope it resonated, guys. If it does, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I always love hearing your thoughts. Also, give this reading a like, hit the thumbs up button, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of my content, then head on over to my Patreon. I'm not really posting over here on YouTube as much. I'm just too busy in my day-to-day life to film as much as I was, but I am hoping to be able to get back onto my old posting schedule hopefully soon. We'll see what happens with that. But anyway, if you guys want to see my readings regularly, you can see them over on Patreon, and the link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description. There are over 130 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good, then head to the link, like I said, underneath the timestamps. And if you want to get a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want to be focused on tarot, astrology, channeling, mediumship, or a combination, whether you want it to be a live one-on-one Zoom session or a pre-recorded reading, you get to really customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.